Sarah woke before sunrise, her eyes snapping open as if something had pulled her out of sleep. At first, she didn't understand what felt wrong, only that everything felt too vivid. The dim light leaking through her curtains looked brighter than usual, outlining every object in the room with sharp precision. She could even see the dust floating lazily in the air. But what truly terrified her was the sounds. She heard footsteps above her, someone pacing quietly 3 floors up. She heard the soft clinking of metal as her neighbor across the hall washed a spoon. And outside, she could hear the heartbeat of someone jogging past the building. She pressed her hands to her ears, but nothing stopped. The sounds pushed through her palms like they were inside her skull. "What is happening to me?" she whispered. Her voice sounded strange, clearer, sharper, cutting through the room like a blade. She rose from her bed too quickly. Her body moved faster than she intended, her steps silent and precise. Alarmed, she grabbed the edge of her dresser to steady herself, but her fingers dug into the wood as though it were soft clay. She jerked her hand back in shock. No, this isn't normal. Her heart thudded once strong, then slow. So slow she almost panicked, checking her pulse with trembling fingers. It was there, faint but steady, too slow to be human. Fear coiled in her stomach. She walked to the window, but again her steps moved her farther than she planned. Her body felt weightless, stronger, controlled by a rhythm that wasn't hers. She stared at her reflection in the glass, same face, same hair. But her eyes looked brighter, sharper, almost glowing. She shivered. "Victor, what did you do to me?" The memory rushed back, him leaning over her blood pooling beneath her after the attack. His pale, marble skin glowing in the moonlight. His sharp fangs pressing into his own wrist. The metallic burn as his vampire blood touched her tongue. His red eyes always so intense, filled with fear as he whispered, "Stay with me, Sarah." Victor, the vampire who had saved her. The vampire she trusted. The vampire she cared for. The vampire whose blood now pulsed inside her. A sudden wave of hunger struck deep, primal, terrifying. Her throat tightened, her chest heated, and her mouth watered. Not for food, not for water, but for something warm, something alive. She stumbled back from the window, horrified. "No, I'm not, I can't be." She rushed to the bathroom, gripping the sink as she splashed water on her face. The cold shock steadied her just long enough for another sensation to hit. She could hear someone brushing their teeth 2 apartments away. Sarah gasped and backed against the wall. Her breathing turned sharp, ragged. She couldn't stay here. She needed answers, and she needed Victor. The city was still quiet when she left her apartment, but her senses were anything but calm. Every scent brushed her skin like a whisper, coffee brewing for buildings down, exhaust fumes from a car turning the corner, the faint metallic scent of blood from someone with a paper cut. She nearly retched. Her footsteps were silent as she hurried through the streets, too silent. She moved like air, darting between shadows without meaning to. People she passed didn't hear her, didn't notice her even when she brushed close. It frightened her more than anything. By the time she reached the abandoned bookstore hiding Victor's underground safe house, her entire body felt like it was humming. She descended the wooden stairs into the dim, candlelit room and froze. Victor stood in the center, his vampire presence unmistakable. His pale skin glowed faintly under the flickering light. His sharp fangs pressed against his lower lip even though he wasn't baring them. His glowing red eyes lifted the moment she entered, piercing straight into her soul. He looked like death in a human shape, beautiful, terrifying, a predator, wrapped in elegance. "Sarah," he breathed, his voice deep, haunting, unmistakably inhuman. "Your heartbeat, it's changed." Her hands shook. "You knew this would happen, didn't you?" Victor stepped closer, his movements too smooth, too silent, unnervingly vampire-like. His black coat flowed behind him like a shadow that followed only him. "I hoped it wouldn't," he murmured. She clenched her fists. "Victor, what is happening to me?" He stared at her for a long moment, red eyes darkening with something close to sorrow. You're changing, he whispered. My blood is awakening something inside you. A cold chill slid down her spine. Victor, her voice trembled. Am I becoming a vampire? Victor didn't answer, but his eyes did. They glowed brighter, almost afraid. Silence settled between them, heavy and suffocating. Victor's glowing red eyes never left Sarah's face. His pale skin looked almost translucent under the candlelight, and his sharp fangs pressed lightly against his lip as he breathed in her scent. Sarah took a step back. Don't look at me like that. His expression tightened. I can't help it. Your scent is changing. Your heartbeat has slowed. You're different. She hugged her arms around herself, trying to keep her voice steady. This isn't fair, Victor. You promised your blood would save me. You didn't say it would turn me into a vampire. He finished the sentence quietly, his voice deep and somber. Her breath trembled. Say it again. A vampire, he repeated, fangs glinting as he stepped closer. But you're not fully one yet. You're between. Caught in the shift, Sarah shook her head, pacing as panic tightened her chest. I don't want this. I don't want to be like you. Victor's jaw clenched. His black coat shifted around him like a living shadow as he followed her movements with unnatural stillness. If there had been another way to save you, he said softly, I would have taken it. You should have let me die. The words echoed through the room, sharper than she intended. Victor flinched, not physically, but in his eyes, where a flicker of pain surfaced. You don't mean that, he murmured, but she wasn't sure anymore. Suddenly, a rush of dizziness swept over her. Her vision sharpened, then blurred, then sharpened again. She grabbed the edge of a table to steady herself, her fingers accidentally cracking the wood. Her heart stuttered. Sarah, Victor moved toward her instantly, faster than a human could blink. His vampiric speed sent a rush of wind past her face. Tell me what you feel. I don't know, she snapped. Everything. I can hear your heartbeat. Victor froze. Sarah, he whispered, voice suddenly deadly calm. My heart doesn't beat. Her eyes widened. He was right. She wasn't hearing his heartbeat. She was hearing her slow, powerful, echoing unnaturally loud in her chest. She pressed a trembling hand against her ribs. What am I becoming? A hybrid, Victor said softly. Not fully vampire, not fully human. At least not yet. She swallowed hard. Can it be stopped? His expression darkened. Only if we move quickly. There are ways to slow the change. But you must listen to me. And you must trust me. Her breathing hitched. I don't know if I can. Victor took another step forward. His red eyes glowed brighter, desperation flickering in them. His pale face softened, but the danger in him, the vampiric nature, was always there, simmering beneath the surface. Sarah, he said quietly, you trusted me with your life. Trust me now. She opened her mouth to respond, but a sudden scent hit her, warm, metallic, thick, blood. Her pupils dilated instantly. The hunger roared through her veins, burning, twisting, tearing at her from the inside out. She staggered, gripping her stomach. Victor, he reacted instantly, grabbing her shoulders, his cold hand steady and unnaturally strong. Look at me, focus on my voice. I can't, she gasped. I smell it's someone outside, someone's bleeding. Victor's fangs extended fully now, gleaming dangerously. You're losing control. No, she begged, shaking her head violently. I don't want to hurt anyone. You won't. His voice dropped into a low, commanding growl. I won't let you. The hunger clawed up her throat, raw and painful. Her vision tinted red. The scent grew stronger, flooding her senses. She felt herself leaning toward the door, toward the world where the blood was. Victor grabbed her chin, forcing her to meet his glowing eyes. Sarah, breathe. I can't. Yes, you can, he hissed. Fight it, she tried. She tried with everything in her. But her body wasn't listening. Her teeth ached, her hands trembled, her muscles tightened. And for the first time she felt her own fangs pressing against her gums. No, she whispered, terrified. No, Victor, please. Victor's expression hardened. His vampire instincts took over in an instant. He spun her around and slammed his palm against the wall beside her, trapping her in place so she couldn't bolt out the door and hurt someone. Look at me, he growled, but she wasn't looking anymore. She was staring past him straight at something moving in the shadows behind Victor. Something watching. Her voice cracked. Victor. We're not alone. Victor turned sharply, fangs fully extended, eyes blazing red. The shadow shifted, then whispered her name. The whisper slithered through the room like smoke. Sarah. Victor's reaction was instant and vicious. His body snapped into a defensive crouch, fangs bared, red eyes blazing with predatory fury. Shadows curled around him as if they recognized one of their own. His black coat rippled like a dark wing as he shielded Sarah behind him. Show yourself, he hissed, his voice dropping into the deep, ancient tone he used only when another vampire was near. Sarah clung to Victor's back, trembling. Her own senses too sharp, too alive, picked up every shift of air, every vibration of the intruder's footsteps. The hunger inside her flared again, fueled by the scent of blood in the distance and by the presence of something inhuman. The whisper came again, closer this time. You're changing faster than I expected. A figure slid forward from the corner of the room, emerging from the darkness as though it had been carved from it. Tall, cloaked, his skin was ghost pale like Victor's, but his eyes were deeper, darker, red-old, ancient. Dangerous. Sarah clutched Victor's arm. Who is he? Victor didn't look back. His voice was low and edged with deadly warning. Don't speak. Don't move. The figure chuckled softly, the sound echoing like cold wine through a graveyard. Oh, Victor, always so dramatic. Victor's fangs lengthened. Step away from her. The stranger raised both hands slowly. Relax. I'm not here to kill her. If I wanted her dead, she wouldn't have survived the night. Sarah's stomach twisted. What does that mean? The stranger stepped into the candlelight, revealing long black hair, a sharp jawline, and an aura that pulsed with centuries of power. When he smiled, his fangs glinted like polished knives. My name is Rafa, he said smoothly, and you, Sarah. You are becoming something extraordinary. Sarah's knees weakened. Victor sensed it instantly. His cold hand tightened around her wrist, grounding her. You stay away from her, Victor growled. Every inch of him screamed vampire frozen beauty, lethal strength, shadow cold presence. She's under my protection. Rafa smirked. Oh, I know. After all, you gave her your blood. Sarah flinched. Rafa turned his gaze to her slowly, deliberately, tasting every detail with those ancient eyes. And now look at you, breathtaking, isn't she? Not human any longer, not vampire yet, a perfect in-between. Sarah pressed her hand against her chest. I don't want this, Rafa chuckled, stepping closer. Victor's body snapped tense, blocking him instantly. Whether you want it or not, Rafa said softly, the change has already begun. His eyes glimmered with dark amusement. Tell me, Sarah, have your fangs come in yet? Sarah's breath hitched, her tongue brushed against her teeth, feeling the sharp points threatening to break through. She looked away. Rafa smiled. Ah, there it is, Victor snarled. The sound was pure vampire, deep, rumbling, and ancient. I won't let you touch her. Rafa tilted his head. Touch her. Victor, I don't need to touch her. The shift is natural. She drank your blood. She bonded to you, and now, his eyes slid back to Sarah. She is becoming one of us. Sarah shook her head violently. Stop saying that, Rafa raised a brow. You think denial will slow the transformation. Victor moved with supernatural speed, putting his body between them again. His pale skin gleamed under the candlelight, his fangs fully extended, his expression a mask of deadly promise. You don't get to speak to her, Victor snapped. Leave, Rafa sighed. You always were emotional. His gaze flicked to Sarah. He didn't tell you everything, did he? Sarah stiffened. What? What else is there? Victor didn't answer. His silence was too loud. Rafa grinned. Oh, this is going to be fun. Sarah shoved Victor's arm weakly and stepped around him despite his grip tightening in warning. What is he hiding from me? Victor's jaw clenched, eyes glowing brighter. Sarah, don't listen to him. He deserves to know, Rafa said softly. Victor knows what happens when a hybrid fully awakens. He knows your hunger will grow. He knows your craving will become unbearable. And he knows the bond between you and him created by his blood will eventually— Shut up, Victor growled. Sarah's voice trembled. Will eventually what? Rafa leaned forward, his red eyes gleaming like fire. Will eventually bind you to him forever. You won't just become a vampire, Sarah. His smile widened. You will become Victor's. The room went silent. Sarah stepped back, shaking. Victor, is that true? Victor swallowed hard, a human gesture he only made when terrified. Yes, her heart plummeted. Rafa took a step back into the shadows. I'll be back when the transformation is complete. Victor lunged forward to late. Rafa vanished into the darkness like smoke. Sarah backed away from Victor, her breath shaking, her new senses roaring, her hunger rising dangerously. You lied to me, she whispered. Victor reached for her. She flinched away. His red eyes dimmed in pain. Sarah, please. But before she could respond, her body jerked violently, another wave of the transformation crashing over her. Her knees buckled, her vision blurred, her fangs broke through, and the hunger consumed her. Sarah's body convulsed violently as the hunger claimed her. Every nerve in her body screamed, every muscle tightened, and her vision swam with crimson tints. The transformation wasn't gentle, it was roaring, relentless. Her teeth ached as sharp fangs pressed through her gums, while a burning heat spread through her veins. Victor moved instantly, his pale marble skin glowing faintly in the flickering candlelight. His vampire speed was terrifying. He was everywhere at once, his coat flaring like living shadow, his glowing red eyes scanning every inch of the room. He gripped her trembling shoulders, grounding her with unnatural strength. Sarah, he growled, voice low and dangerous. Focus, fight it. You can't let it consume you completely. She shook her head, gasping for breath. Her senses were overloaded. She could hear the blood flowing in the pipes, smell every molecule of air, every heartbeat around the building. And through it all, the raw, metallic tang of blood called to her, a siren impossible to ignore. I can't, she screamed, stumbling backward. Her hands clawed at the floor as her body convulsed, her newly sharpened reflexes throwing her off balance. Her fangs were fully out now, gleaming like twin blades in the candlelight. Victor didn't hesitate. With a speed no human could ever match, he grabbed her waist and lifted her into his arms. His presence alone was overwhelming, cold, heavy, inhuman. Every breath he drew carried the scent of centuries, of nights spent hunting and surviving, of immortality itself. You're stronger than you think, he said, voice low but commanding. The bond you have with my blood, it will help you control this. Trust it. Trust me. Sarah clung to him, her new instincts screaming, but the part of her that was still human fought to stay in control. She wanted to bite, to taste, to give in, but Victor's eyes held her like iron chains. His fangs peeked from behind his lips, red eyes glowing brighter in warning, every inch of him a predator ready to defend her against herself and the world. I'm losing it, she whispered, trembling violently. I can feel it, inside me. Victor's jaw clenched. Then fight it with me. Fight it, or it will fight you. He pressed his forehead to hers briefly, a strange, intimate connection forming, his vampiric essence entwined with hers. For a moment, she felt his power flowing into her, steadying her heartbeat, slowing the panic, giving her a tether to the world she was leaving behind. Suddenly, a low hum vibrated in the air, a deep, unnatural resonance. The candles flickered violently, shadows along the walls elongated, twisting into impossible shapes. Victor's eyes narrowed. Someone's here, he said, voice hardening. His fangs flashed in the dim light, and they're not human. Sarah turned to look. In the doorway, a figure materialized, a shadow darker than the surrounding night, edges flickering as if it weren't fully solid. Its eyes glowed faint red, ancient and powerful, fixated on her. "You're fully aware now," the figure said, voice smooth, cold, echoing like wine through a tube. "The change is near completion." Victor stepped forward, positioning himself between Sarah and the intruder. His black coat flared like a living shadow, his pale hands extended, ready to strike. "Stay back," he warned. "You will not touch her." The figure tilted its head, amused. "Oh, Victor, the bond is already formed. She is mine as much as she is yours. She will awaken fully, and she will belong to our kind." Sarah's new senses screamed. Her body surged forward uncontrollably, her fangs pressing against her lips, her pulse thundering. Victor's hands clamped down again, holding her firmly. "Do not fight it," he hissed. "Not yet. Not alone. Listen to me control it." Her eyes flickered red, her strength multiplied tenfold. She could feel the shadow's power pressing against her like a wave, beckoning, teasing, daring her to yield. "No," she whispered. But the voice of the shadow inside the room seemed to answer her thoughts. "You will join us. You are already one of us." Victor's fangs were fully extended now, his eyes ablaze with fury. He moved in a blur, placing himself directly between Sarah and the shadow. The intruder's red eyes gleamed, and for a heartbeat, time seemed suspended to ancient forces staring each other down, while Sarah trembled, her body caught in the middle, every instinct screaming that she could not stay human any longer. The shadow stepped closer, darkness curling around it like smoke, and whispered again. "You're ready now. You belong to us." Sarah's knees buckled. Her body trembled violently, her vision swam in red. Victor's face fell as he realized her transformation was accelerating faster than he anticipated. Her voice broke into a terrified whisper, "Victor, help me." The shadow's laughter echoed, low and ancient. And in that instant, Sarah's fangs broke free, her eyes glowing fully crimson. Sarah trembled violently in Victor's arms, her body quivering as if it were no longer her own. Every nerve, every muscle, every heartbeat pulsed with something raw and uncontrollable. Her vision had fully shifted. Everything was tinted a deep crimson, her newly sharpened senses drowning her in sound and scent. Victor's red eyes glowed brighter than ever, fangs bared slightly, his pale marble-like skin catching the flickering candlelight. He was a predator, fully aware, fully alive in his vampiric nature, but now his expression carried real fear for the first time in centuries. "It's too late," he whispered, voice breaking despite its usual depth. "Sarah, you're changing faster than I anticipated." Sarah pressed her hands to her head, trying to ground herself. No, I can't. I don't want this." Her voice was rough, guttural at times, betraying the hunger clawing up her throat. Victor's hands tightened around her shoulders, cold and impossibly strong. "Listen to me, Sarah. Focus on me. Fight it, but no. You are becoming one of us." Her breath hitched. "One of who?" Victor hesitated, his glowing eyes flicking to the shadows in the corner. I should have told you sooner. The blood you took from me, my vampire blood has bonded with yours. You're not just changing. You're becoming a hybrid, half human, half vampire. And there's no turning back now." A low rumble echoed through the room, deep and resonant. The shadows shifted, curling and stretching unnaturally. Then a figure emerged. Tall, dark, and impossibly ancient, eyes glowing a deep, feral red. Victor stiffened immediately, fangs fully extended, his presence flaring like a living shadow. "You're already one of us now," the figure whispered, voice smooth and chilling. There is no human left inside her. Sarah's body jerked violently, trembling in Victor's arms. The hunger surged, almost unbearable. Her fangs pressed fully through her gums, sharp and gleaming. Her new strength coursed through her muscles taut, movements precise, senses overwhelming her mind. "No," she gasped. "I don't want this. I don't want this." Victor's face fell. His usual calm, predatory control faltered. Sarah, listen. I can guide you, help you control it. But you must trust me. You must trust me now. Her eyes, their irises fully crimson, flicked toward him. Something primal pulsed between them, a mixture of fear, hunger, and connection. Victor's own vampiric aura intensified, cold and protective, radiating power. The shadow figure stepped closer, silence heavy, almost suffocating. There is no turning back, it whispered again. She will awaken fully, and she will join our kind. Victor's jaw tightened. Not while I can stop it. He moved faster than the eye could follow, positioning himself fully in front of Sarah. His coat flared like wings of shadow, his red eyes glowing brighter, fangs bared in warning, back. Sarah's new instincts screamed. Her body shifted, leaning instinctively toward the figure. Hunger clawed at her throat. She tried to fight it, tried to focus on Victor's voice, but her body was betraying her, muscles coiling with power she had never had before, strength she had never known. Sarah, fight it, Victor's voice was commanding, raw with urgency. Your humanity is still inside you. Focus. She shuddered violently, her legs buckling, and then she collapsed. Her body trembled, head lolling against Victor's chest. Her eyes flickered crimson, glowing brighter than ever. The shadow figure smiled, almost predatory. It is done, it whispered. She is one of us now. Victor's face fell. His pale hands held her firmly, his vampire presence fierce, yet helpless. He gazed down at her trembling form, crimson eyes reflecting horror and sorrow. No, he whispered, his voice shaking. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not yet. Sarah's lips moved, but no human words came. Only a low growl, guttural and new, rolled from her throat. Her body still quivered, yet the strength within her began to solidify, the hunger receding slightly, replaced by awareness of her new power. The shadow figure moved closer, almost gliding. Welcome, it breathed. You are no longer human. No longer Victor's, fully you are ours. Victor's hands tightened around Sarah. I will help you, he said fiercely, fangs glinting in the candlelight. Even if it's the last thing I do, the figure chuckled softly. It's already too late. She belongs to the night now. Sarah opened her glowing red eyes. She stared at the figure, then at Victor, and a strange calm settled over her. Her voice, low and tremulous, finally emerged. I can feel it. Everything. I can feel it all. Victor swallowed hard, pale skin tense. Yes, you can. And now. We have to survive what comes next. The shadow figure stepped back into the darkness, vanishing almost instantly, leaving only the echo of its voice. You're one of us now. There is no turning back. Sarah trembled, her new senses fully alive, fully aware her transformation was complete. Victor pulled her close, his glowing red eyes meeting hers. Then we face it together, he whispered. But even as he spoke, the room seemed darker than before, the shadows stretching and twisting, whispering promises and warnings that neither of them could ignore. The night had only just begun.